Alright, here we have a game between EXO playing Protoss and Lark playing Terran. EXO is about a 1200 diamond player right now. Lark is at about 900, I think. I checked him before this game. It's another King of the Hill tournament. They'll just reset because the person who was King of the Hill had to go. So this is going to seat the king and see who's going to try and defeat him in the next few games. Now I'm live casting this one, so I apologize if any of the spectator spam is a little, could be vulgar, I'm not sure. Some of the people in here I don't know, so we'll see how it goes. Looks like Exo's starting out with his very standard build. He's not proxying anything like that. Lark doesn't seem to be doing anything crazy either. Right now the players are currently discussing the battlecruiser nerfs that Lark brought up a second ago in this most recent patch in 1.1. Exo boosting out his probes. He hasn't thrown up a gateway yet. He's at 12. Should be throwing, there it is. Throwing down the gateway there at 12. Lark throwing up his barracks. It's a little bit off to the side, a little weird. He's not trying to wall it off or anything, preventing any early zealot aggression or any scouting there. Looks like he's going for a refinery right now with, yeah, Reapers, like Sly said, probably a Reaper build. Looks like Exo is going to be rolling up and probably will be scouting this, so not really sure how much that's going to pay off for him. Especially Exo generally goes for a he generally goes for a cybernetics core right off the bat, so I'm not really sure he's going to be able to get, Lark's going to be able to get across the field and get anything done here before anything gets seen. Now let's see if he's scouted that barracks. He has not scouted that barracks, Exo hasn't. Looks like Lark's throwing up his orbital. The cybernetics coming out here at Exo. And the barracks has been scouted by Exo. He knows it's there. He sees, I don't really think he's gonna, yeah, it doesn't look like he's probably gonna convert to Reapers now that he's been seen. Lark getting down that economy right there. Throwing out his mules. Exo throwing his second gas up, it looks like. Hasn't thrown up a second gateway or a second pylon that I see. So he's, no, oh there it is, there's a second pylon. It's almost supply capped again. Now, Lark isn't really doing anything that exciting so far. Oh, there's his factory. Looks like he's going to go for a 1-1-1 build. Hasn't choked off at all though, so he's just really open to scouting. He's letting Exo command the field here. Exo is going to know exactly what he has, exactly what he can counter with, exactly how to build his army. Looks like nothing really exciting going on at Lark's base. Throwing up another supply depot, getting the gas. He only has 3 Marines. Neither of them have very large armies so far. Let's see what's going up here. Robo Bay, he's probably going to get a scout out, see what's going on. Looks like Lark has thrown up a wall at the front of his base with Marines. And has thrown a tech lab and is going for siege tanks. Going for an early siege tank Marine push versus a Protoss player, which is a very solid, very, very solid push against Protoss players as they're commenting, OMG pros, OMG LOL. But as Soldier points out, tanks did get a little bit of a nerf, especially versus Protoss. This used to be an extremely strong build pre-patch, as they could just tear through all of those ground units before they got there. Zealots wouldn't have charge by the time that tanks got siege, generally. Easier to upgrade to. But here it looks like Exo's kind of doesn't really have a lot of zeals, hasn't really scouted, though the ob's getting there. No, that's a probe. The probe's getting there, the ob's on its way. He's going to see that there's tanks there and hopefully convert to a more zeal heavy army. The Stalkers will probably just get eaten up unless he gets blink. Warp Gate Tech is finished over here at Exo's base. He's converting away. Now Exo in his typical fashion is pumping out those probes. He's up to 29. One of my earlier shoutcasts, you see Exo versus Andot, and Exo goes for a very massive econ build, similar to something seen out of, something like Huck, where they kind of control the entire map and just kind of whittle down the enemy Terran player with their econ advantage. Keep pylons everywhere and just push back the Terran pushes on their bases and just keep the minerals up. Looks like Lark's setting up a siege tank here as Exo is going for the destructible rocks. Exo backs up. You can't take that out with that siege tank guarding it. There's a bunker guarding this expansion and a siege tank. 2 siege tanks. Supply depot going up out here. Exo has thrown up his expansion. Looks like both players are going to finish pretty much near the same time. One little Marine hanging out back there seeing that the Nexus is going up. No real surprise here. If you've played Exo before, you know that he pretty much always expands right off the bat. Doesn't go for any of those 4-gate heavy pushes that's very common, even in the mid to high Diamond League currently, as it's so hard to counter, especially for a race like Zerg. Exo pulling off some of his probes here, sending them to the new mineral line. Always good to pull off some of your probes from your mineral line to send to your expansion, your natural expo, because the number of probes, actually it's much faster to throw some on the expansion rather than oversaturate the main. 24 is of course the optimal number of probes, but that's the max. That's the max it can hold, not the optimal. There we go.